back, guys. Today we've got a product review for all of you finishing people out there. It's the Crimson Guitars Stunning Stains. So Crimson Guitars has developed their own line of guitar finishing products essentially, which I'm pretty excited to try out. They call it a stain. Based on the color of it and the consistency and everything from what I'm seeing here, I'm inclined to think that it's going to behave more like a dye than a stain, and that perhaps they called it Stunning Stains just for the sake of the alliteration, but you know, couldn't really tell you. This one's going to be an orange. It looks like a fairly bright orange. They've done given me a little sample there. And what I've got to try it out on are a couple of pieces of hardwood. I know when people are finishing guitars, very often they use hardwood, so I figured that this would be appropriate. I've got some maple here and some cherry. Alright, so obviously a stain or dye, particularly a light one like this, is going to be best used on lighter woods, which is what I'm working with right here. And I don't really have anything else that I need to say about this except that I'm excited to try it. So let's bring the camera in closer here and give it a shot. Well guys, believe it or not, I just filmed this with the camera off. So let's try this again. I gave this a little bit of a shake, just in case it's a stain and not a dye, like I suspect it might be. And now I'm going to start applying it. What we're looking at here is a few things. Obviously the color. We want to see, you know, is it a nice vibrant color? How does it look? Whether it accents the grain. You can see we've got a grain pattern in here, in our maple, which is what we're going to work with first. So let's take a look at whether it accents that more like a dye would, or whether it kind of covers it up a little bit like a stain would. And also, we're going to take a look at how far this stuff goes, how evenly it spreads, that kind of stuff. So I'm working with a small surface here. I'm just going to take a very little bit of this, just a single spot of it on the shop towel, and we'll see how far that takes us. Wow. Okay, so that goes a long way. Let's put it that way. That bottle is probably enough to do many guitars. Yeah, okay. I could probably even wipe some excess off of here. So that's one coat. You can see it's a very vibrant orange color. It'll punch you right in the eyeball, so to speak. Very vibrant color, which is nice. If we look here, we can see that it's definitely not hiding the grain. It's accenting it a little bit. I'd be very interested to see how this looks on flame maple, actually. That's beautiful. Very easy to spread out evenly. I mean, the area where I started, I mean, it helps that it's a hardwood, but the area where I started with more on the cloth doesn't really look any different in color than over here where I finished with less, which is actually quite unusual. That's excellent. That's dry now, so let's give it another coat and see what that does. Let's see how it builds. A lot of stains don't really build. You kind of get your color, and then after that it just kind of turns messy. Some of them do, the good ones. Alright, so that darkened up that area quite a bit, as opposed to over here where it's had one coat. You can see the difference, hopefully. Oh, my camera's kind of crooked, isn't it? Hold on, everybody. Whoa. That's better. My OCD feels better already. Okay, so the area where I did it twice, I'm still getting that beautiful accented grain, which is fantastic. If you layer up too much stain, it tends to go away, which is, again, what makes me suspect that this is more of a dye. That looks great. I can't say enough good things about that, which I'm pleased with, because I promised these guys I'd give an honest review of all their stuff that they sent me, and this is one of the things they sent me. And I was really hoping that said honest review would be positive, because they were so nice. All right. Excellent. Nothing bad to say about that so far. We've barely used any of this. In fact, I've probably, still got enough to get back at it here on my cloth. So this is the cherry now. Obviously these bright stains are going to be better suited to light woods. Cherry is almost as light as maple, not quite. You won't catch me using this on a walnut, it just wouldn't make sense. I'm actually going to put some on my cloth. So I'm not just rubbing the cloth ragged on here. Again, it spreads very evenly, very nicely, which is good, because it can be actually kind of difficult to get stained even if you're not accustomed to it. Alright, so that's after one coat on the cherry. The cherry didn't really have much in the way of grain pattern to accent here. Nothing like the little bit of figuring that we were dealing with in the maple there. But still, looks good. It also wasn't sanded properly, sorry about that. So if there's, I'm seeing a little bit of unevenness here because that area was just rougher when I started. Let's give that cherry one more coat and see what happens. You can see it darkened up nicely as opposed to this area where it stayed nice and bright. Here I've got a darker orange. Very happy with that. Yeah, I'm excited about this. What else is nice about this is I don't have to do anything to it. It's ready to use right out of the bottle here. And it's water based, so I'm not getting any smells or anything. They say on here we don't recommend you drink it. You know, so actually this is hilarious. What is this? Seriously, I don't think you should drink this. It's probably safe, but we're covering our butts. So water-based, they know it's safe. You don't have to worry about fumes or anything. I can't smell anything, but a little bit of comedy, nothing wrong with that. You can rub excess away with a damp cloth. I'm assuming you can use that to blend it as well or adjust the color. It says you can use it to adjust the color. Water-based stuff is very easy to work with, and this, you don't have to do anything to it. It's good straight out of the bottle. I'm sure you could dilute it a bit if you want to, but most stains come in concentrated form, and you have to, or sorry, dyes, and you have to dilute them and mix them. What else does it say here? Yeah, easily mixable, matchable. If you get it in your eyes, wash it out with your tears of foolishness. Then go to a tap and rinse again. Wow. That's amazing. Well guys, I had high expectations for this product, and I am not disappointed. I'm still pretty convinced based on this that it is, oh, the lighting is very different here. It looks more yellow in the camera. It looked orange over there. It's orange, believe me, it's not yellow. But there we go. I'm pretty convinced by this that it is a dye and not a stain, which is good. That's what I was hoping. Dyes are certainly my preference. And I think I'm going to be using this more often now. I don't know, I would imagine that you can mix it into a water-based paint as well, a water-based clear. I might give that a shot at some point. I don't use water-based clears very often, so we'll see if I get around to it or not. I wouldn't imagine that you can mix it into anything else though. I know some of the concentrated dyes that you purchase from Stuart McDonald and stuff like that, you can mix right into lacquer if you want to do a tinted clear. I don't think you could do this with the lacquer because it's water-based. But for rub-on finishes, which is really what that's designed for, right? Well, yeah, it's 100% what that's designed for, and it's one of the easier and more effective ways of putting on something like that. This is a great product, and I'm happy with it. So I'm going to put a link in the description of the video here to Crimson Guitars, their website, their shop, and their YouTube channel, which is very informative. I'm sure most of you have already seen it, in fact, because it's far more popular than mine. And please check them out. Take a look at some of the products that they have. Every time I try one of the products from their shop, this is, I think, the second or third one that I've had a look at now. I'm always pretty impressed. So have a look at their stuff. It's very easy to use and very effective. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them, of course. If you have technical questions about the product itself, it might be better to direct them to Crimson Guitars. But if you want to ask me, I'll definitely give it a shot. And thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up so it'll be easier for other people to find. And subscribe to stay up to date with all the cool projects I got coming out.
Also, a big shout out to Sovereign King, who does the vast majority of the music for my channel, way better on guitar than I am. And to Troy from Noise Guitar Mods, I'll put the link in the description. The man is a great guitar tech, and he's taught me most of what I know about how the internals of these things work. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. See you next time.